What if everything you thought you knew about the YouTube algorithm was wrong? Today we're breaking down insights and facts that are coming straight from the team lead of the growth and discovery team at YouTube, meaning that his team is responsible for how the algorithm helps your channel grow and for how the algorithm allows your videos to be discovered. And recently at VidSummit, he explained exactly how the new algorithm of 2024 works, and that's exactly what we're going to be explaining in today's video. So stay tuned because this could change how you approach YouTube forever. Okay, so this just happened, I think last weekend at VidSummit. Tom Beaupre gave a talk with another person who is the kind of the video creator liaison between the creators and YouTube. And they gave a talk and he talked about how the algorithm worked. So he broke it down into 4 parts. And part 1 is that the algorithm activates when the user logs in. It doesn't activate when you hit publish on the video. It activates actually when the viewer logs in. And what he said is that the algorithm's goal is to find the best videos for each individual viewer based on their history, their preferences, and their behavior. So my question for you, Grant, is how does knowing that the algorithm activates when a viewer logs in rather than when we upload kind of change the way that creators should approach YouTube?
So the first thing that occurred to me, and this is a pretty huge shift, is that time of upload probably isn't that important because if the user logs in and that's what pulls the videos to them, as opposed to, you know, when you upload a video and it pushing the video out, that essentially means that every viewer has a personalized little algorithm and you're appealing to those little personalized algorithms versus trying to get it right with like one big publish at the same time. So upload time, I don't think is as important as we thought it was. The second thing is watch time sounds like it is no longer king anymore. That kind of used to be the YouTube meta, that motto, watch time is king. So if your video has high watch time, you know, you have a 10-minute video, it has 75% audience retention, then your video is going to explode no matter what. That sounds like it's not actually as true as it used to be. Rather, if YouTube believes that a viewer is more likely to be interested in this video, even if they're not going to watch the whole thing, they're going to promote that video to them. So to me, that means SEO actually is arguably more important now than actual audience retention, which is interesting to me because, you know, we've talked a lot about recently on this podcast about kind of the YouTube meta right now. And obviously Mr. Beast really changed the game with this, the kind of highly, the editing intensive audience retention editing style. This algorithm shift sounds like it is kind of going against that now. So now it's prioritizing a kind of a topic that you would enjoy versus just throwing things at you like this video has high audience retention and you might sort of maybe be interested in it. So this really changes the game. And it makes me feel like we are less pressured now to keep the audience from clicking away at all times. You know, you don't have to cut to something new every 5 seconds necessarily, which is relaxing to hear.
And maybe part of the reason that there's been this kind of new trend of low editing, right, and minimal editing, because it's not so much based on the analytics. And to kind of clear up what we're talking about here, and we've talked about this before, is we said, hey, the algorithm's starting to focus more on viewer satisfaction than the analytics. So you can take maybe 2 videos. One video has great watch time, great click-through rate, and then another video has less watch time, less click-through rate. And there's a viewer that has shown signs to be very interested in this specific type of creator in the past. And maybe the 2 videos are about the same topic, but the creators are a little bit different, right? Maybe this one creator's more in this kind of other sub niche, this creator's in this sub niche. It'll probably, this is what I'm getting from this, that the algorithm will promote the one that the viewer is more interested in, the sub niche that they've been diving into a lot deeper, because it's more related to what they like over the facts that the other one has better click-through rate and watch time. You know, we've heard it before. The algorithm's starting to be more focused on viewer satisfaction, but nobody really knew what that meant. I mean, Grant, you and I spoke on this podcast and we talked about the surveys. I don't know if you remember that. where you might watch a video and then there's a survey that says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like this video or something? I think that is part of it, but it's deeper than that. They're doing a little bit more. There's more machine learning. There's deeper analytics, deeper reporting that they're doing on each individual viewer. But this part one here is the algorithm doesn't push videos out. It pulls videos towards viewers, and we're looking for viewer satisfaction. So anything else, Grant, you wanted to add on that part before I go on to the next part?
Just on a personal level. So like, obviously there's my channel Treesicle, that was my job for a long time. Right now, the channel I'm more or less actively uploading to, it's more of an art project called Grantgeist. I've barely been doing any SEO on any of those videos because I was just like, watch time's more important and SEO is boring, and this is an art project, so who cares? Now it sounds like if I just take the time to actually like write a real description, a good title, tags, hashtags, all that stuff, my videos might actually do a lot better. Because yeah, I've noticed their audience retention and click-through rate is actually quite good. For like a 10-minute video, I'll get close to 50% usually, but they just don't really catch in the algorithm. And this is really showing me like I've been messing up, which I always knew it wasn't optimal, but now it seems like this is actually really important now.
Got you. And I hate to disagree, but I don't know if I believe that it's the SEO. Like what I'm kind of getting from this whole thing is I'm thinking it's more about like trends. Is because like, think about it, like on this YouTube channel here, the Video Creator Podcast channel, anytime we talk about Mr. Beast and the controversy, those videos are getting like 1,000 views. They're outlier videos for us. Why is that? Well, because people are watching videos about this topic, and that's becoming part of what they're interested in according to this algorithm. And then the algorithm's saying, okay, we need to pull more videos towards them that are related to that. So I'm thinking, like in my head, it's like catch on to these trends, right? Like if somebody, let's just talk about a different niche real quick. Like if somebody's watching videos because they want to learn how to start a vegetable garden, and they are watching one video about carrots, one video about tomatoes, and then you, who they've never watched before, creates a video how to plant broccoli, the algorithm might serve that to them because they know that it's exactly what they're looking for, right? It's what they're interested in. And although that's not really a trending topic, it is a topic that aligns with kind of their profile, right? Their user profile. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Right. Well, I agree with everything you just said. Trends obviously are important, and it does sound like YouTube is now doing a really good job of kind of quantifying like what somebody is interested in. So like the vegetable garden example, watching a carrot video, a broccoli video, and then it promotes you. What's another vegetable? A lettuce video, right? It like knows to show you a lettuce video, even though it's not like explicitly. It's not just going to show you more broccoli videos. It's going to know, like, you're probably going to want another kind of vegetable to plant. So that's good, like that kind of general trend thing. For me, when I said that SEO is really important, with my channel in particular, like, keep in mind, my titles are like, there's nothing for YouTube to latch onto. My last video was called "I'm in a bad place right now," frowny face. Like there's no keyword there. There's no like philosophy, like even in the description. I don't even remember what the description is. I just was like upload, and like it just shows me that like I really do need to put keywords in there so that YouTube knows, like it needs to know who to put this video out to, like besides my subscribers. And that's like obvious, like I kind of always knew that, but like this is especially important now that I hear this, because I was under the impression watch time is king, and I'm not going to worry about the stuff that's quote unquote boring that I only do if I get paid to do it. But now it's like, if I want my videos to get seen, like this stuff is actually really important, and I can't just rely on my 10 years of video editing and writing experience necessarily. I've got to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, including SEO, which is actually kind of inspiring. It's really not that much work, and I could put in very little effort and get way more views, it sounds like. So I'm really glad we're doing this episode.
Yeah, and I think adding the tags, adding the description with the words and stuff is helpful. But also, let's keep in mind that YouTube, the algorithm's transcribing your entire video, and they're listening to every single word you're saying, so they do know what's in the video too. But I think best practice definitely is including in the tags and description and title and all that kind of stuff too, because you got to help the algorithm, right? You got to help it know. So okay, let's go to the second part. Okay, the second part of this thing is, what are the techniques that the algorithm's using to find videos for viewers? We talked about, related stuff to what they're watching. But in this video, in this talk that at Vid Summit, he gives you like the exact things that they're using to serve these videos, to find these videos, to pull these videos towards users. And here's what they are: subscription and view history. Okay, what is this person subscribed to? So does hitting the subscribe button matter? Yes, it matters. That's going to help them pull videos. View history, we know what that is, what they've watched in the past. The algorithm, it looks at recent channels that you've watched and channels you've subscribed to, prioritizing new content from them. Number 2, collaborative filtering, which is also known as automated word of mouth. So YouTube uses data from similar viewers to recommend videos that others like you have watched. So this is almost called like a lookalike audience. So they're going to take viewers that are very similar to you, that very similar watch history, they're subscribed to very similar, same channels and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to say, what is that person like? What is that person watching and clicking on and, watching all the way through and maybe sharing and commenting on? Let's show that to this other viewer in hopes that, they got the same profiles. They're like almost identical twins here on YouTube. Let's show them those kind of videos. And then the last technique that the algorithm is using is deep learning, which I think they mentioned called interest DNA. Like, what is your interest DNA? It's deep learning. This is cutting edge machine learning that analyzes deeper patterns in viewer behavior to find videos closely related to individual interests. So this is like some straight up like machine learning, some stuff that we're not going to be able to like break down in this video. But which one of these 3 techniques, subscriptions, collaborative filtering, or deep learning, do you think creators should focus on most to increase their visibility on YouTube? Like which one can they focus on, and how do you think they should do it?
My answer to your question is a question, and the question is like how much control do we even have over these things? So like subscription and view history of a viewer, the algorithm looks at recent channels you've watched and channels you've subscribed to, prioritizing new content from them. So like as a creator, what the viewer is watching besides your videos is kind of outside your control. To me, it seems like the only real control you have is like including as many relevant keywords in your tags, hashtags, descriptions, title as possible. And then the collaborative filtering aspect, kind of automated word of mouth, as they call it. YouTube uses data from similar viewers to recommend videos that others like you have watched. I guess like, to me, the only way we as creators have control over kind of appealing to these new systems is one, like I mentioned, just kind of basic SEO, good keywords, right? But then 2, it's sort of the age-old advice of know your niche. Like if your channel can't really be categorized, if one day you're making a cooking video and the next day you're making how to solder and fix your rice cooker video, that's like YouTube's not going to know what to do with you. You're not going to like fit into a category that is easy for YouTube to digest and show people. So like to me it kind of sounds like your channel gets a reputation with YouTube in that YouTube understands the topics you talk about, and it will always be looking for viewers to show your videos to. So like you really need to hone in on your niche so that you have a reputation that YouTube knows what to do with. Does that make sense? Like you always want to cover a certain topic. So like my video game channel, we were always covering video games, and we kind of honed in on like indie horror games for a long time, which on a personal level ended up sort of taking a toll, but it worked very well. And we ended up getting a lot of views. And we kind of, YouTube knew what to do with us. And it sounds like they've kind of honed in even more on this. So I really think knowing your niche is important here.
I can just picture you guys like, dang, we got to play this scary game again, and just being like, I haven't slept in weeks because of this game.
Yep.
All these horror games, but yeah, I mean, the takeaway here is like, first of all, let's not go too outside the box here and flip the whole script. Like, you got to make good videos. Like, no matter what,
Right.
if you make a poor video that people are just clicking away from and leaving the platform, and that's not going to help. Like, even if there's a viewer out there that watches similar content, maybe that's where your 30 views come from, right? You create a bad video, but you still get 30 views. That's, people that just are there, they're somehow getting recommended your video because it's like so in line with the stuff they watch. But making a good video matters still. Like, let's not forget that. And also subscription, right? It says right there, subscription. So continue to ask for subscribers. I mean, I think we had an episode that we talked about how subscribers are dead. I think a lot of people were talking about that. I think that is a part of the algorithm where, if you hit subscribe to a channel, that means that you want to get recommended those videos. So subscriptions are here. View history. I kind of like this one. Like, basically what I'm getting is like, the algorithm is ungameable now. Like, you can't game it. You can't keyword stuff a bunch of things in there and get ranking for a certain keyword. You can't, have a bunch of comments on your video or something that will get you recommended by the algorithm. Like, you can't game it anymore at all. So one thing I was thinking, like, view history. Well, here's one way maybe you can game it is if you have a big email list. Let's say you have 100,000 email list, and you email out your videos every time you release a new one. And people click on the link and they go to YouTube and they watch your video. Well, now you're part of their view history. If they hit subscribe, if they hit the like button, if they left a comment, if they engaged, if they clicked on your YouTube channel, watched another video, if they shared it, if they showed some sort of interest, you're now part of their view history, and you were the one that made that happen, not the YouTube algorithm. So maybe there's something there to where driving people to YouTube, to your YouTube videos, could help build your view history, and which could in turn, create like a snowball effect, because now you have these people that are watching your videos, and now other people that the algorithm says is a lookalike of that person now might get promoted your video because that person liked it. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
No, I think what you said makes sense. And,
yeah,
what's interesting. So, like, when I launched Treesicle, like, God, that was 10 years ago now, 2014. We posted the first video to Reddit, and that's how we got our first influx of views, which actually worked really well back then. But then, kind of as the YouTube algorithm changed, I actually didn't recommend anybody do that anymore, because what would happen when watch time was king is, people look at your video on some Reddit thread, and most of them, they click it, they watch like 3 seconds, they go away. That's just sort of the name of the game, and that's actually not good for your video. Or if your video gets tweeted and a bunch of people pour in, but they only watch like 5 seconds of it, again, like, that actually hurts your video. But what it sounds like here is, if you can just get people, if you can get your channel in a bunch of people's watch history, that's actually useful for you in the long run. It may not make your one video that got promoted go viral, but now you're kind of in their algorithm. You're in however many people watched your videos algorithm, which is very interesting to me. It almost feels like in some ways we've come full circle. I'm sure it's much more sophisticated now, but like, now the advice is different. I wouldn't recommend doing this in 2022. If you had a time machine and you were going to make videos back then, don't do it. Don't promote on Reddit or Twitter. But now, game's changed.
Yeah, and I heard that advice you just mentioned. I've heard that too many times, because it's all about the analytics then, which brings us to our next part. This is what we've already spoken about, but the personalization versus the performance analytics. So it's not going as hard on the analytics as it is on personalization, meaning that YouTube uses performance analytics still, but personalization is more important for recommending content to viewers. So performance analytics are still important, Grant, but personalization is now going to take priority. So how can creators use their analytics more effectively to understand their audience's personalization preferences? This is a tough
Hmm.
question.
Yeah. So this sounds like a question a client would ask me. Essentially, how do you look at your analytics and figure out what your viewers actually like, right? Because sometimes it's not as obvious as what video performed and what video didn't. Um, One thing you can do is you can go into the inspiration tab or the research tab. They keep kind of changing the tabs around, but inspiration, research, video ideas, like these tabs in your analytics, it will actually show you the other kinds of videos that your viewers are watching. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not, but like you can just understand the general sphere that you're in. Again, kind of going back to that, the personalization thing and the watch history being really important for viewers.
Mm-hmm.
You can essentially see your viewers' watch history at a high level in the analytics in these tabs, and then start honing in on that of like, oh, they're watching a lot of anime videos. They're watching a lot of Sword Art Online videos. I haven't made any Sword Art Online videos, but I do make video game videos and anime videos. So like, I'll cover this topic. So you can kind of see what they like, and then you can also, I mean, obviously, like when you release videos, you can see the click through rate. You can see how many impressions a video got. So like, if your video has a lot of impressions, but people aren't clicking it, I mean, assuming your thumbnail isn't bad, then your viewers probably just don't like it. They're just like, I don't know, maybe the vibe was off, maybe you're just covering a weird topic. But yeah, you can. I think probably the research and inspiration tabs are going to be the most important thing for discovering what your viewers actually like, especially outside of your videos, because obviously it's kind of hard to read people's minds, but this is sort of some objective way of kind of reading people's minds.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's understanding your niche more. Like you need to have a very deep understanding of what people in your niche are watching so that you can make videos similar to that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it comes down to. And to be honest, like anybody that's been opening up their YouTube homepage or opening up the app for the past year have seen this. And the creators that have really grown the most are the ones that have, when ChatGPT first came out, created 10 videos about AI in a row that all got promoted by the algorithm out because anybody that clicked on an AI video was now getting served AI videos like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, same with this Mr. Beast thing, right? Now, anybody that, and a lot of people do want to know what's happening with Mr. Beast and the controversy. So they click on one video and now, a week later, they've watched 10 videos on the topic. And that's really just understanding, the trends and your niche and what people are looking for at that time. So I think really to kind of summarize everything is that there needs to be another shift in the creator mindset. This major shift is for creators realizing that YouTube is not pushing videos, but instead pulling videos towards the viewer when they open up that algorithm or open up that homepage, that they are seeing videos that the algorithm is pulling towards them that they think that they're going to click on. And yeah, just staying up to date with the trends and all that kind of stuff is going to be super helpful. So Grant, what is kind of your last final thoughts on how you think this is going to impact YouTube and impact your approach as you move forward with your clients and all that?
Mm-hmm. So this changes a lot of things because obviously, like your YouTube backlog can be a really big asset, and sometimes you make a bunch of good videos, they maybe do okay, but then they kind of stop performing. They stop getting views. So to me, because when the viewer opens up the YouTube app and then that sort of triggers the algorithm to pull videos to them. Like it's sort of there's like a new algorithm every time, so to speak, right? That tells me that old videos have a good chance of doing well if you can kind of change things around. Again, going back to the SEO, I think if you're able to change the hashtags or the description or the tags or the title, even the thumbnail, like you can probably revive videos that are no longer performing, because again, like every time a viewer opens their feed, YouTube is trying to populate that page. So like you kind of get a new opportunity every time the viewer comes onto YouTube to get seen, as opposed to, you know, when you upload being this like huge deal. Now it sounds like you can play the long game a lot easier, which to me sounds more wholesome, more relaxing. You can try things out, and if it doesn't work, you can change things, and then old videos can potentially start taking off when you actually, when you change things just right. You crank the dials just right. Then a month old video, a year old video, maybe it'll take off.
Yeah, no, that's true. I agree with that. And I've seen that on my homepage too, where, I've been watching a video from Dan Martell. I've been watching a lot of his videos. And every time I open it up, there he is right there. And sometimes those videos are a year old or 2 years old. And I'll see them and I'll be like, wow, just got promoted a video from 2 years ago from his channel, an older one, just because I've been watching so much of it. And I think overall, this is good for YouTube creators, especially business-minded YouTube creators, because why are you creating this YouTube content? Well, you want to get in front of your dream client. Well, the algorithm is finding your dream clients for you now at a much higher rate, knowing that, hey, this person is just like this person who likes your videos. So let's go ahead and put their video in front of them, and boom, now you have a new, targeted viewer who's into whatever kind of service or product you have to offer in the content, the niche that you're into, and boom, there you go. New customer right there, all thanks to YouTube for free, I might add. And that's what makes YouTube the best platform to publish content on for businesses. So, thoughts before I close this out?
Final thoughts. I just, like you said, I think this is great. I think YouTube gets a lot of flack for things they've done with the platform. But this feels like a really big step in the right direction to really enhance audience satisfaction. Exactly. I think it's taking us away from the retention demon editing of yesteryear, and that excites me. And just, again, the potential for old videos to do well. I think that was always kind of there, but it sounds like now that's especially true more than ever. For anybody listening, check your backlog, see, is there anything I can improve about this? And you might just see an old video taken off, and that's not that much work. It's a lot less work than making a new one, let me tell you.
Yeah, go look in your analytics. If there's any old videos that you have that are still getting impressions, you might want to consider updating the thumbnail or the title and increase that click-through rate. And you can sometimes see a video, boop, all of a sudden just take off an old one too. So, all right, you guys, hope you guys liked today's video. We're doing our best to bring you the most cutting-edge tips and tricks to grow on YouTube. Hit subscribe if you're still watching. You watched all the way through. Thank you so much. And if you're listening on the audio, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can follow us there as well. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later.